You're clearly very inspirational. I wonder, though, David, who inspires you? And you somehow convinced Messi to come play in the United States.
Yeah.
What was the vision or the inspiration behind all that?
You know, I had one of the biggest and best business leaders inspire me and teach me, Sir Alex Ferguson. When we won the treble in 1999, the next morning, the boss was said, okay.
How do you instill the kind of values that you're talking about in your kids?
I think by giving them the values that we had growing up. You know, mine and Victoria's children have grown up totally different to how we grew up, but we instilled from a very young age the right values. You know, my sons, you'll never see my sons walk into a room and not let a lady go through the door first, or shake people's hand,
because
or
that's what you did.
Be engaged. That's what I did. So, you know, whether you think your children are watching or listening, they are most of the time. And luckily for me, you know, my children have noticed, you know, when my wife leaves the table, I stand up. It's old traditions like that I have tried to pass on to my children, and thankfully, you know, they've turned out great. And me and Victoria are very proud of our children, you know, not because they have their own dreams and ambitions and they're working and they're doing exactly what they want to do, but more because of the values that they have. And let's hope they continue.
You stand up every time she leaves the table?
Yeah.
I can't imagine my husband doing that.
I do get strange looks at times from people. They're like, why are you
That's
standing?
old school.
It is old school, but you know what? It's how I was brought up, and I've tried to pass it on to my kids, and my kids do it. They don't always do it, but they know that's what Dad does. So it is all about their dreams. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we can always give our children advice. We can always guide them, but then part of that has to be down to them. You know, part of them, you know, you talk about your children doing what they love. That's the most important thing, to do something that you love. You know, I love to work. I love to be in business. I love to be a footballer. You know, I'm very lucky. You know, I am a person that, you know, my parents gave me the support that I needed, but then that made me want to give them back something. You know, when they gave me so much. You know, I grew up in a working class, you know, household. You know, my mum and dad worked hard till from 7 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night. So they gave me that work ethic. So that's what we can do. We can give our children the opportunity to dream, to help other people, to be kind, because we need more kindness in the world. And then that leads to other things.
One of your best business decisions, certainly to Americans, has been Inter Miami. Mm-hmm. You have an ownership stake, and you somehow convinced Messi to come play in the United States.
Yeah.
What was the vision or the inspiration behind all that?
I always wanted to give back to the game. You know, my dream was always to give back to football, to soccer. And, you know, punditry or management was something that I never saw myself going into. You know, my dream was always to own a team. I always wanted to own a team. So when I moved to America, you know, I had the opportunity to put in one of my contracts, or the contract, that at the end of my time there, I could own a franchise and I could pick the city where it was going to be. And I knew from day one that I wanted Miami. I knew that that was the place where I wanted to be, and a lot of people said to me, it's a tough sporting city, do you really want to go there? And I was like, that's exactly where I want to be.
Why?
Because it was a challenge. And I would say it's been the hardest challenge, actually, in my career and in my business, but the most rewarding. It's the most rewarding for many reasons, you know, to see the team grow, to see the franchise grow, to see the club grow, and to see what we have now. You know, we're building a new parcel. We have a new parcel of land, 32-acre parcel of land in Miami, where we're building the new stadium, which Miami Freedom Park, which we're very excited about. There'll be retail space, there'll be parks there, and obviously the stadium will be there. So we're very excited about that. But you know, when I moved to America, yes, I wanted to lift the game. yes, I wanted to be part of, making soccer as popular as it is everywhere else around the world. But I wanted to win. I wanted to win on the field, first off. I had a 6-year contract there. And yes, I wanted to build the game. But more importantly to me, I wanted to win championships. And luckily, in the end, I won 2 championships in America. But now, being the owner of a club that has the greatest player to have ever played the game, that's down to people's opinion. But in my opinion, he's the greatest person to have played
It's not that controversial.
the game. Not anymore.
No.
So
You think MLS can be as popular as
I do.
Europe?
I've always believed in the potential. America is America. Simple as that. It's a powerful country. It's one of the biggest and greatest opportunities of countries. And you believe that. When I moved to America, it's the land of opportunity. I knew that I wanted to live in America at one point and create a business. And to create a business that we've done, and I now sit back in my chair in Miami, in that stadium, and Leo walks onto that pitch, and I'm like, I'm quite proud of that.
How do you know what to say yes to and what to say no to? I'm sure businesses come to you all the time.
I'm very lucky to have good people around me. I'm very lucky to have good opportunities. But in all honesty, I go with my gut. I look at the opportunities that are brought to me, and I always look at them and I sit back and look at them and think, can I work with these people? Can I work with these people for a long time? Do I want to be the face or do I want to be the founder? I enjoy both. Like I said a minute ago, I like to work. I think that's why me and Jamie are best friends and have the same values and interests, because we both like to work. So that's the thing that I always go with. I always go with my gut. Is there an authenticity? Because my fans, the people around me, people that look at what I do, it has to be authentic because they see through that. So everything that I do has to have some kind of connection.
You're clearly very inspirational. I wonder, though, David, who inspires you?
My children, my wife, children that I've met throughout the world, that I've worked with, that I've helped, that UNICEF have helped. Every time that I go on one of these trips, every time that I do something for UNICEF, that inspires me. But it's my children and it's my wife that motivates me. Simple as that. Like I said, my wife is hardworking, but the reason I continue to work as hard as I do is for my children. And I'm not talking about for their futures, but I want to set the right example. When I retired 12, 13 years ago now from playing, I could have just sat back and enjoyed the moment. But when I grew up at Manchester United, I had one of the biggest and best business leaders inspire me and teach me, Sir Alex Ferguson. And every time that we do something in business, every time that we have some success, yeah, of course we enjoy it, we celebrate it, but the next moment we're on to the next thing. And that was exactly what Sir Alex Ferguson taught me. He taught us, when we won the treble in 1999, we broke all records. It had never been done before. We won the Champions League, we won the FA Cup, and we won the Premier League. It had never been done before. The next morning, the boss was said, okay, I'm glad you enjoyed that last night, but today we go again. And next year we do the same. And that's what I always had installed into me.